How do, like, where would it be visible? Sorry.
You can talk.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So today in this session, I'll be telling you about the rights of employees at workplace. Now, before I start with the session, let me tell you about a survey done by NSSO, which provides the workforce in India, which is about 47.41 crores. Isn't it amazing? But the question that arises here is, do these employees know about their rights at workplace? On that note, my friends, let's understand the rights of employees at workplace with regard to the Indian laws. So the first right that an employee gets is comes through employment agreement. Now, what is an employment agreement? Now, employment agreement is a contract that is signed between the employer and the employee, which gives certain rights and obligations to both the parties. There are certain terms and conditions that needs to be followed. Now, the terms and conditions are like the wages, pay scale, job description, then place of working, work hours, non-disclosure of certain confidential informations or trade secrets, and dispute resolution. So employment agreement becomes the basis of the rights of the employees. Now, through these employment agreement, the first right that a person gets is leave. Doesn't it sound good? Yes, indeed it does. So it is a right of every employee to get leave. Now, the leaves are categorized into first is casual leave. Now, casual leave is something that is that an employee can claim during emergency or any kind of family emergency. Then comes is sick leave. So sick leave is claimed by an employer when the person is not keeping well. So a person can claim sick leave. Thereafter comes privileged or earned leaves. So this is a leave that is entitled to the employees, that they can plan it accordingly and they can notify their employer and take it with all due respect. Then other kind of leaves that the employees get are paid leaves, unpaid leaves, and etc. It depends on the companies that they provide. Now, the second right that an employee gets is minimum wages. The minimum wages is fixed amount of wages that every employee is supposed to get. Now, this is governed by Minimum Wages Act, and all the employees can claim this. Now, if a person is not getting the minimum wage, then they can always go and complain to the Labor Commission, or they can always file a civil suit in the court. Now, both the state and central government can frame minimum wages. Now, the next right that employee gets is protection from sexual harassment at workplace. So this is for both men and women, but it is mostly targeted to the female audience, to the female employees out there. So all the companies and all the employers, for them, it's a duty to have an sexual harassment policy. Basically, this sexual harassment policy is governed by Sexual Harassment Act 2013, which was formed with the help of Vishaka guidelines. And now, all the company employers, they are supposed to form an internal committee which should consist of 10 members, and it should be headed by a senior woman. It should consist 2 members from government organization and 2 members from non-government organization. So this was the right with regard to sexual harassment. Now, let's move on to the next right that is given to the women employees, which is maternity benefit right. It is governed by the Maternity Benefit Act. So earlier, a women employee was entitled to 12 weeks of leave in case of pregnancy and post-pregnancy procedures. But later on, it was amended, and then it was made up to 26 weeks. Now, let me tell you all, not just the female employees who are pregnant can claim this right, but also the adoptive, surrogate, and commissioning employees, the mothers, can claim this right. But for them, the time limit is for 12 weeks. Now, let me tell you all that if a woman employee is having two child, only till that time they can claim 26 weeks leave. Apart from that, if they wish or plan to have a third child, they will be entitled only for 12 weeks. And after this maternity period is over, leave period is over, the women employees can always go and claim for work from home option. Now, this work from home option depends on companies to companies and their policies. So the next right that is given to the employees are gratuity. Now, my friends, gratuity is a payment that is given by the company to the employees as a matter of gratitude. It's a benefit given to the employees, and all the employees have all the rights to claim their gratuity. Now, the gratuity is given only after a period of 5 years. So when an employee serves the company for a period of 5 years, they can claim for gratuity. But in certain circumstances, it can be claimed before, where the employees have met an accident or they are not able to perform their duties with regard to their any health condition. So it can always be given before 5 years also. So this gratitude depends on two factors. First is the last drawn salary of the employee, and second is number of years of service rendered by the employee. Now, the next right given to the employees is Provident Fund. My friends, Provident Fund is retirement benefit scheme given to the employees. So this is managed by Provident Fund Organization of India. And if a company is having 20 employees or more than 20 employees, then they are bound to have this scheme. In this scheme, 12% of both employer and employees' pay is given to the fund. So thereafter, a person can always claim their provident fund in bulk sum amount, which can be used for their any family planning or any educational purpose for their children or any medical purpose. So this is the benefit of provident fund. The next right that an employee gets is work hours and overtime working. Now, the work hours differ for men, women, and children. For children, let me tell you first thing that a child is a person who is between the age of 14 to 18-year-old. So a company cannot employ any child who is below 14-year-old. Otherwise, it is offense of child labor. So a person who is adult, that is above 18-year-old, for them the work hour is 9 hours. So generally the company will have their work hours for about 8 to 9 hours. And in a week, a person is supposed to work for 48 to 58 hours. If a person is working more than that on request of the company or the project in hand, then the company is obliged or the company must pay the employees double wages, that is double daily wages. Okay, and when it comes to overtime and the timings of the employees, employees are supposed to work only till 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. If at all they are extending their timing, then a proper permission from the authority has to be taken. And with regard to women employees, door-to-door services have to be provided. Their securities have to be taken into consideration. The next right that is given to the employees is pay for public holidays. So as we all know that Gandhi Jayanti, Republic Day, Independence Day is national holiday. Now it is a government rule that a person is not supposed to work on these days. If at all a company is asking the employees to come on these days, then the company must provide double the wages to the employee, or they should provide compensatory leave to the employees. If in case this is not provided, then the employees can always go and file complaint against the company. The next right that is given to the employees is equal pay for men and women. So ladies and gentlemen, equal pay is a right guaranteed under Constitution of India, that is Article 39 Clause D provides that there must be equal pay for both men and women for equal work. There should be no discrimination on basis of gender. So the 10th right that is given to the employees are probation and termination. So generally the companies have a probation of 6 months. The companies can always extend their probation period for more from 6 months to even 8 months. The maximum to which a company can increase their probation period is for 2 years and not more than that. Now, when it comes to termination, a company must give notice to the employee before terminating it, and a reasonable ground has to be stated in the notice. Now, the reasonable grounds can be a failure in performing their duties or not able to perform their duties, unsatisfactory performances. If an employee is not satisfied with the reasons, they can always go ahead and request for a proper inquiry. Now, the 11th right that is given to the employee is health and safety in workplace. Now, it is mandatory for all the companies to take care of the environment that employees are working in. That is, the environment must be clean. There must be washrooms available for men and women employees, and it should not be much crowded. Proper ventilation has to be given, proper lightings has to be given. If an employee, for example, if a worker works in a factory, then things like goggles must be provided to the workers, and hand gloves must be provided. Their health has to be taken into consideration. And if any kind of negligence takes place at workplace during the employment because of employer, then the employer can be held liable under the rules of Employment Compensation Act. That is, the employees can go ahead and file a complaint and claim compensation from their employer. So my friends, the rights of employer is a very wide subject. I have just tried to give some brief about the rights. I hope you understand. And in case of any legal queries, you can always reach out to us. So is anyone having any questions that I can answer right now? Well, I can't see it in my comments right now. So if anyone is having any questions, they can again post their questions. I will try to answer that. Okay, let me look into the comments then.
Sexual harassment.
What? I can't see the comments. Okay. Okay. All right. So one of the viewer has asked for sexual harassment at workplace. So basically, every company must have a committee, internal committee for sexual harassment. So let me first tell you what is sexual harassment. The sexual harassment is something if there is an indecent behavior, if there is any kind of indecent gesture done from another employee to a female employee, then that is called sexual harassment. It can be anything. It can be verbal. It can be gesture. Anything. So every company must have sexual harassment policy, which is governed by Sexual Harassment Act, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013, which was formulated with the help of Vishaka guidelines. Now, a company must have internal committee. These committee should consist of 10 members, which should be led by one female, a female employee in a senior position, and 2 members from government organization must be present in it. 2 members from non-government organization must be present in it, and one member who is one member who has no stand, a normal employee should be present in it. So, and the internal investigation is done if there is any complaint that is lodged against a person. Internal investigation is done. In some cases, what happens is both the employees are called in person. The matter is solved on face-to-face. If it is grievance, then an proper investigation is done with help of the members. So, any other questions? Yeah, so one of my viewer is asking about maternity benefit. So as I already spoke, maternity benefit is governed by Maternity Benefit Act, and before it was 12 weeks, now it is changed up to 26 weeks. A woman employee can claim leave for 26 weeks, and not just women employees, it's adoptive surrogate mothers can also claim it, but they have a time limit of 12 weeks. After the time limit of maternity right or privilege, you can say, is over, then the women employee can always go ahead and ask for work from home option. And it depends on company to company. If they have policies, such policies covered in it, they can give it. Any other questions? So we have a viewer watching from Dubai. Thank you so much for watching from Dubai, and I hope that this session is informative for you. Okay, so it was a great session. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time. I hope this video is useful, knowledgeable, and you are aware of your basic rights with regard to your workplace. Please feel free to reach out to us in case of any legal queries or any legal services. We will always be happy to help you out. Thank you. So we will come back next week with a new topic and new education, I will say that. Thank you.